article that I read before, it's about communicative game-based learning in EFL grammar class, suggested activities and students' perceptions. It's written by Rahmah Fithriani from Universitas Islam Negeri Sumatera Utara, Indonesia. And I took this article from JELLS. Language learners has been a long debate among the stakeholders, the English language teachers and students, researchers and practitioners. Some people argue that grammar is not necessary to be given as a special focus on language learning. Regardless of the problem, the role of grammar instruction has been considered crucial to the ability to use language. Furthermore, grammar gains its prominence in language teaching, particularly in English as a foreign language and English as a second language context. Inasmuch as without a good knowledge of grammar, learners' language development will be severely constrained. In order to change this negative stigma of grammar instruction, English teachers should be aware of the strengths and weakness of various teaching approach and method. Now we are going to literature review. The first is grammar teaching method and approaches. There have been many methods and approaches of grammar instruction offered by the expert, and each claim to give the most effective outcomes. The second is Grammar Translation Method or GTM. Grammar Translation Method focuses on the use of students' native languages in the study of grammar. The third, Direct Method. Direct method is known as the opposite of grammar translation method, as no native languages are allowed to use the classrooms to encourage students to speak in the target one. The fourth, audiolingual method. Audiolingual method emphasizes on oral production, which is drilled through the memorization of a series of dialogues and the route of practice of language structures. The fifth, cognitive approach. The cognitive approach considers the conscious study of language rules as central to the learning of a foreign language, and practice will be meaningful if learners understand the role involved in practice. The sixth, natural approach. It aims at developing learners' communicative competence through less emphasis on practice and more on exposure to language input. Seventh, communicative approach. Communicative approach, also known as communicative language teaching or CLT. It aims to make communicative competence the goal of language teaching through activities that involves real communication and carry out meaningful tasks. The last is CLT and game-based activities. The teaching of grammar, particularly in the context of EFL, such as in Indonesia, has traditionally been dominated by the grammar translation method or GTM, where the use of mother tongue is clearly important to elicit the meaning of target language by translating the target language into native language. Among those activities, games are much used in EFL classrooms, as many researchers, who are teachers and educators themselves, have reported positive findings of using game in English classrooms for learners of all ages. For young children, games can stimulate them to learn English and bring the target language to life. For adults, games allow students to gain learning experiences in a more energetic way. More drilling or control practice, better memory and class spirit, and realize their performance via game points, a natural way of learning, competition, and motivation. So here is the practice of games-based grammar learning. The researchers developed 3 types of game-based grammar activities and used them in this study, namely, guessing the word, board and dice game, and run and guess. So there are 3. The first 2 activities were always done inside the classroom, while the last one outside the classroom, because it needs a big space for students to run around. These 3 activities can be modified to adjust them with the topics of discussions. Game-based activities were perceived to provide more opportunities for students to practice their English communicatively and to be exposed to English-speaking environment. Well, that's all from me. Thank you very much. I hope it will be useful for us. And I do apologize if I have mistakes. Thank you so much, Mr. Fator. And last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.